Hey everybody, Dauntless here, and I am just doing a little bit of a PSA while I watch this replay of me getting royally destroyed in Battle for Middle-earth 2. So, I'm going to pay attention to the other side because I want to see what in the world this guy is doing. Okay, so here's my PSA. I am not going to be putting up a lot of stuff for Battle for Middle-earth 2 from GameRanger, and the reason I'm doing this is because there were a lot of people who asked me to do that, but unfortunately there's a couple issues that I'm running into, and here is the primary issue. I'm terrible at this game. I haven't played this in years. What it doesn't help is that the only way to get this game to work multiplayer is fairly complex. It has to do with making sure you have certain files, making sure that you have, oh, that's interesting, you went triple resource. Making sure that you have, all the stuff downloaded, images, stuff like that. It's really not a simple task, and it took me a little bit to figure it out. And I've worked with computers for almost my entire life, so I kind of know what I'm doing with it. But if somebody doesn't know what they're doing, if somebody is just getting into computers, they're not going to want to figure this out. What happens then is the only people who are playing this game are the ones who have either been playing it for a while or wanted to go through the effort to get it running. And most of the time, the people who are doing that are very, very good and have already played this game for quite some time. So they know what they're doing. I don't. Yeah, and then he went straight spiders. I had no idea he was doing that. So basically, I'm getting crushed. It doesn't help that the game is also split into 3 different patches. There's 1.0, 1.06, and 1.09. So to even play a match, you have to make sure you're on the right patch. And the patches tend to get... switching isn't that hard, but knowing how the patch is different starts making it a little... is kind of hard. Because there are differences between the patches and in how the gameplay is. So you almost have to remember, okay, so in this patch, you know, my spearmen are really good against, you know, monsters and stuff like that. In another patch, they might be really terrible against monsters. In this patch, my swordsmen are specifically good at taking out resource structures. That may not be the case in another patch. So it is something where you'd have to learn that, and I just don't have the motivation to try and figure that out. Even if that weren't the case, most of the games on GameRanger are a no noobs, pros only kind of thing. I joined a match where it was like, are you pro? No. Well, you're out of here. Overall, I've kind of not been a fan of how the community acts either, and here's why. I ended up going against this one guy who, and this is not him. This guy was actually pretty polite, pretty friendly. This one person I took on, like, terrible attitude, and this is just one of a few people I took on, just terrible attitudes, where they're like, boy, you're really bad at this, and I'm like, yeah, I know, I'm really bad. Yeah, I bet I could beat you with just heroes. Come on, let's play a game and I'll beat you with just heroes. And at that point, I'm just like, no, that's not fun. I don't want to play against somebody who is going to go out of their way to try and rub in that I'm not good. If they want to help me out and show me how to do better, fine, I can do that. But, you know, and here, this right here is something that confuses me. Because my spears, I've had them kill off construction buildings really quick, but this was just like dragging. So yeah, I have to relearn the mechanics of the game because it's very different from what I remember. What else was I gonna say? Anyway, yeah. So the attitudes were generally pretty bad. I tried to join another match where everybody was acting like children, and the first message I got was, join this Discord or we're booting you. And I'm like, no, I'm not jumping on any Discord. I don't want to voice chat with anybody. So it just didn't work. It was not... It hasn't been fun to play the game anymore, just because, for one, I'm losing all the time, which, you know, I don't mind learning how to get better, but it doesn't help that getting into a match is extremely difficult, and then even when you get into a match, you know, you end up dealing with some really immature personalities, basically just bad sportsmanship. So here's what I'm going to do, though. I am going to try and get better. I am going to look at replays, like what I'm doing right now, and I'm noticing, you know, this guy's playing very differently than what I remember I played goblins as. They always have kind of like this interesting setup here with both goblins and dwarves. I'm going to try and watch replays, learn how to get better. I'm going to do my best, and then when I can put up some matches that aren't me getting totally trashed, then I'll totally start doing it. On the other hand, my other idea is to start playing Battle for Middle-earth 1, because Battle for Middle-earth 1, I think, I could be wrong on this, I'm going to check, I think it's only one patch. You download the game, you get it installed, you set up the patch and the online stuff, and you're good. So hopefully that works. Hopefully that's what is going to make this all function, and that would be wonderful if I could do that. But right now, there's too many versions, too little maturity, and I'm just not good enough to join 99% of the matches. So anyway, that's kind of my whole message on that. I can't put out any sort of quality videos on this game at all right now unless I'm playing against AI. So hopefully I'll figure it out, hopefully I'll get better, and then I'll be able to like actually play some matches where I'm good at this. But anyway, you may notice he has a lot of infantry out. And here's what I'm noticing he did differently than what I'm used to. First of all, he went with 3 resource buildings in the start. Once the third one was going, he built his first unit production, which was his spider. And I originally did not go with spiders, but it says here they're strong versus swordsmen, but they're actually pretty good against unit production as well. And it helps if you're going against Men of the West. Men of the West units tend to be pretty slow, especially the stuff that counters those things. So I'm trying to get Rangers out to stop, you know, the spiders, but he's got so much infantry, I'm just getting slaughtered. And Horn of Gondor apparently shows up at level 3, and that's not... I don't remember when they switched that over. So they pretty much kill Boromir faster than, you know, he died in the actual movie. Sean Bean died faster than he normally does. Yeah, look how fast those things kill off my unit production. It's incredible. And they're very quick. Look how fast the spiders move. Like, good grief. They're spider rocket. They're rocket spiders. And normally I thought Rangers had a bonus against monster type units, which would have been the spiders. They don't. They don't seem to kill stuff very quickly at all. And it could be because they're low level and those things are really high level. I figured if I got some swordsmen out, I could build a bit of a defense, but they don't seem to have as much defense as I remember, especially when going into guard mode. It used to be when they got into guard mode, I remember them taking a lot more punishment. And by this time, I mean, he's got his pikes, he's got his cavalry out, walls of infantry, so this is the beginning of the end here, folks. Like, he's got resources going like crazy. He really does know what he's doing with this game far better than I do. And he didn't even bother with any of the creeping or anything, taking out the little monsters or anything. But he's all over the place. I've also noticed another thing about this game that I am not happy with. Everybody plays the same dang map. There it is. I'm gone. So I noticed everybody seems to play the same map. This, excuse me, Fords of Eisen 2, and I don't like that at all. So I am going to try Battle for Middle-earth 1 and see how that goes. And then, yeah, I'll see if maybe I can get into Battle for Middle-earth 2, but just, you know, the overall community and stuff right now is just not impressive to me. And just not really happy with that. So anyway, thank you for watching. I'm really sorry if I disappointed anybody. and hopefully I'll try and get some stuff out there that you guys really do want to watch, because I know that people checked out Battlefield Earth 2, my last video, quite a bit, at least more than anything else I've ever put out. So I'm hoping I'll put something out there. Maybe they'll be as interested in the first one, and I'll get some decent footage out there of me playing. And I'll still probably lose a lot, but hopefully it'll be, not quite on the level of this thing. So thank you all for checking it out, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day.